Because the aviation and building construction industries, which use checklists, have proven how beneficial it is to create checklists. Let's understand this with an example. In 1935, the US Air Force called out airplane manufacturers for flight testing of their new aircraft. Among them, Boeing's Model 299 aircraft was many times more powerful than the Army's requirements. To test the Model 299, the US Air Force sent their most experienced and highly trained pilot, Major Atul Ployer. But an accident occurred such that, just a few seconds after takeoff, the plane crashed, resulting in the death of pilot P. Hill. When the investigation report came out, it was found that there was no defect in the plane, but the main reason for the crash was a small mistake by the pilot. Despite being highly trained and the most experienced person, pilot P. Hill forgot to release the new locking mechanism of the elevator and rudder controls, and because of this mistake, he lost his life. After this accident, the investigation team, its researchers and engineers decided to implement a very simple yet powerful strategy, which was to ensure that it is checked before the plane takes off. Due to this simple approach, the US Air Force was able to fly the same Model 299 airplane for over 2.6 million kilometers without a single accident. In most cases, the main reasons for our failures are primarily two: ignorance, and second, inaptitude. Ignorance. It means failing in a task we have no knowledge of is a very common thing. But the second reason, which caused the plane crash and the pilot's death, was inaptitude, meaning the inability to apply knowledge in the real world, despite having it. In today's world, we have a lot of knowledge and information. Therefore, while the reasons for failing due to ignorance have become quite outdated, in most of the time, we fail because of inaptitude and that is, the inability to apply knowledge in the real world. Despite having many years of experience, some professionals make mistakes in their work, and due to the mistakes of some professionals, many people's lives can be at risk. Author Atul Gawande is a public health researcher and surgeon who says that no matter what industry you are in, if you want to reduce avoidable human errors and mistakes, then make a checklist. Because humans, by nature, are flawed and inconsistent creatures. We are not made for discipline. We are made for novelty, excitement, and creativity. That's why we need a checklist to install discipline within ourselves. In the world, there are only three types of problems: simple, complicated, and complex. Simple problem. It means cooking by knowing the recipe, where with a little understanding, the chances of success are 100%. Complicated problem means sending a rocket to the moon, which can be broken down into simple problems. But there is no set formula or recipe that guarantees if you do this, the mission will be successful. Whereas a complex problem means raising children. Raising one child does not guarantee that you will be able to raise another child easily because every child is unique, meaning the outcomes of complex problems are very uncertain. Even today, despite advanced technology, many people around the world die due to doctors' mistakes or during surgery. Most of these deaths occur due to avoidable human error. For example, a doctor not washing their hands before surgery or not keeping the patient's blood group in key reserve. The author believes that losing many lives due to such avoidable human errors is not right. Therefore, the author researched the two most complex and safe industries in the world for solutions: the aviation industry and the building construction industry. In the construction industry, the building failure rate is 0.002%. That means, out of 50,000 structures, only one structure might collapse due to avoidable human error. And in the aviation industry, the probability of death is 29 out of a million, only 1. Both industries have an excellent safety track record because they both follow checklists. In the construction industry, structural engineers who have built many structures and are excellent masters in their field still follow checklists whenever they start foundation and construction to ensure nothing is missed. Despite having numerous flights and thousands of hours of flying experience, pilots still follow checklists. Because both these industries have understood the uncomfortable truth of human nature. No matter how intelligent or experienced we are, we sometimes forget even the smallest and most important steps. This is because our mood is not always right. And if our bad mood causes us to forget something, leading to harm to others or ourselves, it is better to simply follow the checklist. A checklist is like a net. that filters our mental and attention flow, helping us deliver consistent work with care. Checklists make aviation and construction industries responsible professionals because no matter how familiar they are with their job, they follow checklists. Atul Gawande learned about the benefits of checklists from these two industries and applied them in hospitals continuously for 3 months. Using it reduced the death rate significantly because before a patient's surgery, the nurse would review each item on the checklist and tick it off with a pen after cross-checking. The list included such simple items as ensuring that the patient scheduled for surgery is indeed the one on the table. The doctors even included items in the checklist such as having everyone in the operating room, from nurses to doctors, introduce themselves by name and role before starting the surgery. Researchers call this the activation phenomenon, where if people are given the opportunity to speak before starting work, their sense of participation increases, which strengthens their teamwork and responsibility. Because people who know each other's names feel more comfortable in conversations. Venture capitalists and angel investors also that follow a checklist before investing their money in a company, systematically analyzing everything from A to Z about the company. They look into what mistakes the company made in the past, what they learned from them, what they implemented, and what their future market looks like, including who their competitors are. Successful angel investor Citra explains that people often ask him how he can so precisely predict that a company will grow in the future. And when he answers that he makes a checklist, people find his response amusing. Even high-profile restaurants follow a checklist. They create a checklist for every customer. Whenever an order is received, it is printed and sent to the kitchen, which includes the ordered items, table number, seat number, and the customer's suggestions. Along with this, their previous database is also checked to ensure they don't have any food allergies, and then the cooking is started accordingly. Knowing the benefits of a checklist is important, but creating and using it is even more important. Our highest reason for implementing a checklist is to improve safety, consistency, and efficiency. To create such a checklist, we need to follow certain points. Identify the area of opportunity where you want to implement the checklist in your category. Because in all businesses, some process or the other is regularly repeated on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, and tight deadlines carry heavy business implications. Due to client load, it is common to forget small steps and tasks. Therefore, to run the entire process smoothly and in a disciplined manner, implement the checklist where it is most needed. The checklist can be used in two ways. One, for reminders, and the other, for learning. If you are a beginner, you can use the checklist for learning, which will guide you step by step. And if you are an expert, you can use it as a reminder by ticking off items. Second, define a clear pause point. Decide on a moment when you can confirm things by looking at your checklist. Every checklist should have a clear trigger, meaning a reminder of location, routine, and action that prompts you to pause and complete the checklist, ensuring the mechanic reviews the checklist twice. Once before starting the service, and the second time after the service is completed, to ensure everything is complete. A pilot uses a checklist before taking off, so that is their pause point. Similarly, you should also clearly define your pause point to know for when you will use the checklist. Third is, the checklist should be short, speedy, and concise. The checklist should be tested and practical in the real world. The appearance of the checklist matters a lot, so the items listed should be written in a clutter-free, easy language using the right font and color. Make the checklist short and add clear items that are most important. No matter what field you are in, whether it's import, project, critical decision, grocery shopping, or any simple, complex, or complicated task, using a checklist before starting will help you avoid accidents and consistently deliver high-quality work, which will set you apart from others. All these things I have shared with you are from Atul Gawande's book, The Checklist Manifesto, which I found quite good. If you want to read it, I have provided the link in the description. Lastly, I would say, to make checklists to avoid small mistakes. Because I heard somewhere that a person stumbles, not over mountains, but over stones. Thank you.